the high-stakes action as the UST Tommies battle the Golden Gophers at XL Energy Center on October 26th. Enter for a chance to win tickets to this game that promises to be unforgettable now at KFAN.com keyword contest. That's KFAN.com keyword contest to enter today.
Here he is, the legendary one, Mark Rosen.
Good afternoon.
Just a quick stop in town before you're off to your next journey. From London to Los Angeles to Turks and Caicos.
Well, that's a ways away.
No, it's not.
It is.
And then from there, who knows? Holland.
Super Bowl, homeboy. Super Bowl.
Why would you want to go to... Oh, you're assuming the Vikings are going to make it.
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Where's Tenneby? He thinks the Vikings are going to the Super Bowl. You want to hit the bet thing? Would you?
Bet.
Are you willing to bet money on it?
Well, if I get odds.
Well, what do you mean get odds?
Well, they're not favored to go now.
But you just said emphatically.
Well,
you said, then I'm going to the Super Bowl.
Well,
and I said,
I'm only going to go there if the Vikings are playing.
Okay.
Someone asked me that the other day.
Hit the bet.
I was. What was we going to do? Bet? No. Bet? Not right now.
Well, not bet. What, are we going to wait till there's 2 minutes left to go in the NFC Championship game and then you'll make a bet?
That didn't work out real well a few years ago either. So, no,
would you
I'm
bet
not
him right now? Would you make a bet with him?
Well, of course. I would bet me if I was him.
Well, if you're that confident.
I'm just saying, you're asking. I mean, I'm just saying, well, of course, there's like at least 5 other teams that can get there. That's about it. Maybe 4.
Who are those 4 other teams?
I would say the Lions.
Really?
Well, of course, they're the favorite. The 49ers. I think they're still a dangerous team.
I think their window's been closed.
I know the McCaffrey thing is problematic, and I don't think he's going to come back. But no, they're still a very formidable team.
You like that Green Bay club?
I like them. I don't quite sure they're Super Bowl ready yet.
So you think it's Minnesota, Detroit, San Francisco, and who are the other 2, you think?
I'd say...
you like that Commanders club all of a sudden?
I do.
Right?
Washington is one. Yeah, I think Washington is one of those teams in Tampa Bay.
I'll give you 3-1 odds.
Tampa, 3-1 odds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bet.
Why not? No, Washington,
So
Tampa Bay.
$50 to $150?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I'll do it. Just because I want to have something on the line. Yes.
And I want $50 in my pocket.
Yeah, I know you do. Washington, Tampa Bay, Detroit, San Francisco. Those are the 4 teams, I think, that have the best.
So you're just dismissing Green Bay and Chicago?
I'm not dismissing them. I just think I'm not sold on the Bears yet. I mean, they haven't played anybody, and it's not their fault.
Do you know how many?
I mean, it's not their fault they haven't played anybody, but they're going to, and I think they're a good team. Packers are. I don't think either one of those teams' defense is going to hold up in December when they really get into the meat grinder of their season. And, maybe the Vikings won't either. I don't, we'll find out a lot more, I think, this week. But, I think those are the teams right now. I can't see, Philadelphia, Seattle, kind of pretenders. Who am I missing? I don't know. I can look at the standings here as far as teams go that are.
What about the Falcons? They're 4-2. They've won 3 in a row. Used to be such a big Kirk Cousins guy.
Well, Kirk's having a good year. I think they're entertaining. Again, you're a defense first guy, and I just don't think their defense is good enough to hold up.
It's a pretty solid defense they have over there, I think.
It's all right.
I think it's a little bit more than all right. All right. Yeah, you can think what you want.
It's fine. I will. So anyway, that's what my travel plans.
You know that the Bears defense. They haven't allowed more than 20 points in 10 straight games. I mean, how can you have questions about their defense? But how can you have questions about they haven't allowed more than 20 points in the last 10 games?
Maybe you know how much I love Chicago and Kevin Warren and the city itself. And so I'm not going to be upset if the Bears have this epic run. I just don't know if they're quite ready yet. And then they'll have a chance to prove it. They get into the meat of their schedule, and they are going to be there soon, and we'll find out. You're right. Are they ahead of schedule? Is Caleb Williams going to be that guy? I mean, Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels are having a hell of a time right now as rookie quarterbacks. It took them a couple of weeks to kind of get rolling, and I think people looked at Washington's loss to Baltimore and went, it was a loss in the standings, but it wasn't a loss in their minds I think they came away going, we can play with the big boys.
Do you think it was a moral victory? I think Washington looks at that as a moral victory.
I do. I think only because I think it's one of those things where the coach can go, you know what? We'll get them next time. I think you hear head coaches in the NFL talk about that, going, we will use this. They were hardly blown out. They were going toe to toe with them, a team that a lot of people feel, I don't disagree, could end up challenging Kansas City every year in, year out. It seems like Baltimore's right there. I do think it's one of those losses. I mean, look at the rest of the NFC East.
I didn't know you were a moral victory guy.
Well, I think from a standpoint of what they learned and what they've discovered about their team, will suit them well down the road. Yeah, I mean, they've overcome that franchise was a unmitigated disaster, last couple of years, more than a couple of years.
Right.
And now they look like again, though, a lot of it's defense in December, and January, obviously.
Well, defense wins championships.
And that's what we'll see. If any of those teams can play at that level, that the Vikings feel that they can continue at. But this Sunday will be a good litmus test, as they say. Brian Flores was talking about it. He and Johnson, what's his name, Ben Johnson, your offensive coordinator, matching wits, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think B-Flow might be losing some sleep right now after watching that game film.
Well, I know he's losing sleep.
Oh, yeah.
That was... I
don't think they know what to do.
I think the Lions just were... I loved every second of it. I love watching Dallas get their butts kicked like that. And
you still can't get over 1975, can you?
No, I wasn't thinking about 1975 and Drew Pearson, but thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, see, you can't get over that, can you? It still kills you.
No, well...
Or is it the Herschel Walker trade? Which is the one that kills you?
Probably more the push-off by Drew than the Herschel Walker trade. That was self-inflicted.
Yeah.
But no, I think Detroit... it's weird to think in a game like that they didn't show that much. They showed so much. It's like... What are the basics we have to worry about? We have to worry about the running game first and foremost. That's what separates Detroit from, I think, the rest of the pack.
Well, they decided it was better. The more really good running backs you have, the better, is what they decided.
Okay.
Well, they
got two. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
and every other team just has one. Imagine if they had three. How good
it wouldn't help them.
Oh, yeah.
Would not.
Well, two helps. Why wouldn't three?
Well, they can only have one football, and they only get so many carries, and so...
Well, it's okay.
And Goff still has to throw the ball 18 to 20 times.
He doesn't have to.
Well, yes, he does. Kind of keep the
depends who you're playing that week.
Yeah,
sometimes you run the ball a lot.
Throw it this week.
Yeah. So I think that Detroit's proving my point, but that's an awful good club. And they haven't
that's why they're the favorites.
And they haven't even scratched the surface in that playbook,
Is that right? I think they opened it on Sunday.
That's not what Brady said.
Yeah.
Brady said that he knows that Ben Johnson hasn't even barely scratched the surface on that playbook.
So you're going to be in the next...
Just wait till the Vikings get a load of what they're going to pull on him this week. You know what? Go ahead and shift your guys around and bring them up to the line. Oh, we don't want you... Guess what? You don't know what we're going to do either. So go ahead. Run your defensive players like chickens with their heads cut off.
Right.
Go ahead.
So you're predicting a Lions blowout.
Not only will the Lions win, not only will
I'm coughing.
Not only will the Vikings not cross the 50-yard line.
Okay.
Not only will the Vikings not score, I don't know if they'll get a first down.
That's a baughty prediction.
The Lions that good.
The Vikings only trail for 3 minutes this season, so you're thinking that's going to change a little bit. I don't know. That crowd noise is going to be really hard for Goff to deal with. The signals. How many false starts they're going to get?
None.
What if Goff is off?
Goff might be off.
If Goff is off, they could struggle. They could struggle a little bit. But
their defense is okay.
Did you see Herndon? No, Herndon. What's his name?
Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker. Did you see Hendon Hooker?
I watched the game.
So if Goff's off, they just put Hooker in.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you didn't think he looked good? Did you watch him play at all?
What was the score when he came in?
Doesn't matter.
38-3 or something.
He was sharp.
He was sharp.
He could start right now on
Well,
half the NFL teams, right?
Certainly anyone in the AFC South he probably could start on. Yeah. Don't disagree with that. I think Goff's not going anywhere. He doesn't have to. He's a game manager. What Jared Goff is. He just manages the game.
Have you? You're
Hands the ball off,
you're not even watching football.
I watched the whole game. No, he's been really good.
This is the best season. The last 2 years is as good as he's ever played.
Well, it is. Well, he's got a great support. First of all, he's got the best offensive. It happens when you get the best offensive line in football.
Yeah.
A lot of quarterbacks. Sam Darnold is a lot better because he's got talent around him.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot. So a lot of quarterbacks can shine when you have the right people and the right coach. Yes, they're all capable of slinging the ball downfield.
You go ahead and dismiss Jared Goff as a game manager.
I'm not. No, go
ahead and dismiss him as a game manager. The Vikings aren't going to know what hit him. You know that, don't you? They're not going to know what hit him on Sunday.
I think the secondary will pick him off at least twice.
Here's what's going to happen. Let's go to Kurt Brown in our studio. Folks, 35-0 Detroit. We're going to go to a more competitive game.
Who's Kurt Brown?
Kurt Brown.
Isn't it Kurt Brown? No, he's the
James Brown and Kurt Menefee.
James Brown.
Oh, yeah, Kurt Menefee.
Let's go to James. Let's go to James Brown back in our studio in L.A.
Yeah.
James, we're going to go to a more competitive game now.
If they could flex that game, that's the game that would have been flexed to Sunday night.
Oh, you're going to see some flexing.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Well, listen to you.
I do think Detroit's going to play some bully ball.
We're going to play some bully ball is what we're going to do.
You're going to be at the game, too.
We're going to play. What does Deuce have to say about it, 10B? What do you think Deuce has to say about this upcoming game?
This has got disaster written all over.
What do you think of the Lions?
I think it's what I said.
The roar has been restored. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk more with Mark Rosen here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
The Fan and two men in a junk truck want to give you a shot to put $1,000 in your hand with our national cash contest. Just enter the keyword grand at KFAN.com now for your shot at winning. The keyword is grand. Enter now at KFAN.com.
Fan.
Hey, Mark Rosen's here, and his appearance is brought to you by your Greater Twin City Honda dealers. Join the voice of the Vikings, Paul Allen, out at High B in Eagan on Tuesday, October 29th. Stop by from 4 to 5 p.m. to meet PA and Vikings defensive back Cam Bynum, thanks to High V and Pepsi, plus a live Q&A event to follow. Get the full details now, KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Double 13-14 past Common Man program. Before the show is over, a couple of giveaways today. Giving away a pair of tickets to a hockey game at the X. It's St. Thomas Tommy's taking on the Minnesota Golden Gophers. That's Saturday, October 26th. If you'd like to purchase tickets right now, you can. They're available. XLEnergyCenter.com. But we'll give away a pair of tickets. And then a really big comedy event coming up.
Is that right?
In the near future. Flop, Sweat, and Tears Tour. The tour is called It's Over. This time we mean it.
I love that title.
See Common, Sauce, and Larry Mondello Guy at the Chart House in Lakeville, Wednesday, October 23rd, a week from tomorrow. And we'll give away a pair of tickets. That includes dinner, too, featuring Briano's famous spaghetti and meat sauce.
That's funny.
Courtesy of the Chart House. And again, if you don't win tickets, you can certainly get them. All you have to do is go to their website, charthouselive.com, charthouselive.com. And there are going to be some Minnesota Viking legends there. They've got a handful already have agreed to show up. Yeah, well, they all want to be a part of
I understand that.
Flop, Sweat, and Tears. How can you not? It's the comedy event of the season. Yeah. That's what they're calling it. So we'll give away tickets there. We'll do what we did yesterday. I gave people the choice. The 11th caller they could have tickets to the hockey game or Flop, Sweat, and Tears.
And
hockey game leads 1-0. We've only given away one pair to each.
We might get a shutout in this competition.
Wow.
Well, why would you say that? Maybe there's people that
hurt somebody's feelings.
Maybe there's some people that want to laugh so hard their side will ache, their heart will go pity pat, like they're watching Felix the Cat. Maybe people want a good laugh in this day and age.
New material too, fresh new material.
Notice I said good laugh,
not
laughs.
Laughs,
just
singular.
There might be one.
Yeah.
You might get. Have you watched any of the Major League Baseball playoffs?
I have. I'm waiting for kind of a real competitive game. I mean, so far we really haven't in these series. The Mets beat up on the Dodgers. The Dodgers won 9-0 the first game.
Last night. It was close.
Well, kind of. It got close at the end. And the Yankees game, I was watching more of the football game. The Yankees got an early lead. I never felt like Cleveland. I think they're probably
they had a chance. Quan drove in a run. They had runners at first and third with just one out. They were about to get back in the ball game, and it was great pitching by New York.
No, it was. And I enjoy. I look forward to it, and I'll probably catch the.
Did you watch any of the other? Or you were still gone? Probably you didn't get to see it.
I didn't see much. I was gone.
Really high drama. Some really good.
Yeah, I missed that. I saw the results, and I think that I know that the guys in the panel were saying the Yankees had the easiest road possible to get to the World Series.
Yeah, I don't know about that. All I know is they outpitched the Guardians last night. It's all about pitching at this time of year. And Rodon was really good last night.
I think Cleveland can hang with them. It's just too tough. Even 4 out of 7.
Well, they have the best bullpen in baseball.
They do if they can get a lead. If they can get a lead going in the 5th, 6th inning, then they can turn it over to that bullpen.
Their bullpen
easier said than done.
Has a postseason ERA of 2.57. That's the best ERA of any playoff team since like 1995. So once they get it to the bullpen,
sure,
they have a really good opportunity.
Well,
and the Yankees probably do have too much for them, but we'll see. It's still early in that.
And the Mets and the Dodgers, speak for itself. I mean, it'll be crazy for
the Dodgers going into that game last night had tied a major league postseason record of consecutive shutout innings at 33.
Yeah.
But the Mets scored in the first inning. So they have to share that with the Baltimore Orioles. They weren't able to beat that record itself. They got out to that early lead. There was 6-0, and again that evens that series at 2 games apiece. What I find astonishing is Giancarlo Stanton. He is really Mr. October. If you look at his statistics over the years, and Ohtani and Judge, by the way, they've had their moments in postseason play, particularly Judge over the years. But I think Judge is barely batting over 200 in postseason. He's hit some home runs and driven in some runs, but neither Judge and Ohtani, this is his very first postseason appearance. And it hasn't been awful, but certainly not up to his regular season standards that we've been used to seeing. The Stanton character. I was looking at these numbers. These are
impressive.
Give me 1 second here. So here's what Stanton has. Last night he hit his 13th career homer in 115 playoff at bats. 13th home run in 115 playoff at bats. It's a small sample, as most playoff stats are, but Stanton has been better in the playoffs, 278, 348, 661, than the regular season rate basis of 257, 345, 525. Among the players with at least 100 playoff plate appearances, Stanton sits behind only Babe Ruth, 744, Lou Gehrig, 731, and who is Randy Arozarena? That's
Rosarina.
Yeah, Rosarina. Who the hell did he play for?
Play for Tampa Bay.
.690 in slugging percentage. He's also now driven home 29 runs in 32 playoff games. And the list goes on. And what they're saying now too is, because he's had so many injuries, he can't play to the level that he once did, because he's got to be in his mid-30s by now. But there was a quote from him, I think, in this story. Here's what it says. It says, the day before the playoffs started for the Yankees, Stanton was asked what he likes best about the playoffs. And this answer just speaks volumes about the kind of player he is. It says, the weight of the moment. Every pitch can be the deciding factor of your season. Every out, every pitch is, how do you say the word, Tenby? Cumulative? Can you help me?
Cumulative.
Every out, every pitch is cumulative of the 6-7 years of preparation for this. You can't shy away from that. You have to understand that and embrace it and quiet it and get it done. In other words, rise to the occasion and play, because it does you can see it with a lot of players. They get in that postseason moment, and everything's, obviously it's magnified. I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know, but it gets magnified, and it's the greats that are somehow able to slow it down and treat it, I guess, in a way like it's a regular season game, but understand the enormity of the situation. Because the guy's he is our new Mr. October.
I saw the one at bat I saw his last night. The announcer was talking about the fact, and he's an imposing figure,
yes.
To say the least. But he doesn't, and we understand they got the shot clock now, but he doesn't get out of the batter's box between pitches like a lot of players do, even briefly to adjust their batting gloves or just check out the scenery or whatever. He stands there, and I think he does it for a purpose. And that's what the announcers are trying to make, is that I'm not moving, and come and get me. And it's true, because you got Judge, who's 6'8" or whatever he is, and then Stanton comes up there, and it's a rather imposing 1-2 punch that the Yankees have with power and everything else. But Stanton, he's a tough out, and this is the October does bring out the best in him. And you got Cleveland's the lone survivor. You got 2 New York teams, the mighty Dodgers and the poor poverty-starved Cleveland Guardians playing right now.
I don't know if they're poverty-starved.
Well, their payroll was less than the Twins.
Right, but that's by choice.
Well, I understand. I'm just saying.
There's no poverty there.
I'm just saying that's just the way they approached it. That's their business model, too.
Well, it's because they're smart with their money, too.
No, they have.
They don't pay plantar fasciitis shortstops.
Wow. And
injury-riddled center fielders big money. They spend it on.
Yeah, they made some good moves, too.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
Well, they made the best. They know what a real trade deadline move is. They traded for Lane Thomas, and he basically won the series for him. So that's what teams that know what they're doing do. We'll break, come back. One more segment with legendary one. I'm sure likes that Gopher Club now. Pretty excited about it. We'll talk about that next here on the Common. Did we do a giveaway yet?
You kind of did, but you kind of didn't. So we did not do the giveaway, no.
Okay, so let's do the giveaway right now.
Okay.
11th caller gets their choice. They can either get the tickets for the Tommies Golden Gopher hockey game on October 26th, or 3 days before that, the comedy event of the season, Meat Sauce Common and Larry Mondello got the Chart House in Lakeville. Doors will open doors open at 6:30. Show starts at 7. He'll be home in bed by 9 o'clock. That's what we're doing at midweek. We'll give away a pair of tickets to the 11th caller. Again, your choice. 1-800-320-5326. I'm back after this here on The Fan.
This football season, Bell Bank is giving one KFAN listener each week $1,000 to pay it forward to a charity of their choice. Just head over to KFAN.com. Keyword contest to learn more and enter today. That's KFAN.com. Keyword contest.
So 10 to B, they took the Flop, Sweat, and Tears tour tickets, correct?
I don't know if that's correct.
No.
I think they took the Gopher St. Thomas game.
Wow.
So, Flop, Sweat, and Tears tickets still available.
They'll go.
Here's the deal. There's going to be many, many Gopher Tommy hockey games in the ensuing years. They'll be playing hundreds of games. This is our final tour. As a matter of fact, we've called the tour It's Over, This Time We Mean It. That's the name of the tour.
I don't think anyone believes that.
It's true. We're calling it the It's Over, This Time We Mean It tour. Let's give away a pair of tickets to it right now.
All right.
It's a week from tomorrow. Chart House in Lakeville. Viking legends will be there signing autographs.
Any names yet or no?
Stu Voigt's going to be there, and several other former Vikings. Doors open at 5:30. Show at 7. If you'd like to buy tickets, charthouselive.com. Charthouselive.com. Otherwise, be the 11th caller, and you'll be a winner right now to the comedy event of the season. No, it really is.
You can't quit now because
1-800-320-5326. 1-800-320-5326 for Flop, Sweat, and Tears. It's over. This time we mean it.
But think of all the new material Sauce is going to have after he becomes a dad here in January. Well, that's why you can't quit now. I mean, next spring and summer he'll be he'll talk about his sleepless nights and, the kid peeing all over him and, trying to feed him and trying to get some sleep to do the morning. It's going to be epic stuff that Sauce has no idea what he's going to get into.
But just because there's lots of good material there, do you really think he can deliver it and write it and deliver it?
He's not going to have time to do that.
Point well taken.
You got to remember he's meat sauce. But hopefully he'll be able to figure something out. So the phones are ringing out the hook. There are people that want to see Flop, Sweat, and Tears. Or maybe they still think we're giving away Gopher Tommy's tickets. How about your Gopher football team? It's been a strange season. They had Iowa on the ropes, played as about as good a first half of football as you can play, right. And then they get
destroyed.
The table gets completely turned, and they get beat by Iowa. Following week, they get roughed up the first half by Michigan. It looks like they shouldn't even be in the same stadium.
Right.
Next thing you know, not one, not two, three tutties. They actually kick an onside kick, a bad flag.
Successfully.
They would have had an opportunity to tie or win that football game, but they end up losing. Then against USC, again, they kind of a struggle in the first half. Second half, they're brilliant. Brosmer leads them down to the winning points. And then against UCLA, again, just another really good second half performance by the club. Your thoughts on the Gophers?
Well, the North Carolina game hurts a little, in terms of, bowl placement. It's not going to put them in a playoff, but I'm just saying that's a game that they look back on. Obviously could have had. But yeah, it's the object obviously for any team like this is to get better as the season goes along, especially for college teams. And USC was a quality win. I mean, USC and when they had Penn State went to overtime the other night. Penn State finally, I think they came back and won that game, right? But that's a good football team, USC. And UCLA, not a great football team, but they've played really good competition, including Penn State. And so the Gophers, for them to come back and the way they did it, kind of going against the grain. I think, you guys were talking about it, that, we're not used to seeing a Gopher team, use the forward pass in a way that, aggressively, especially when they're trailing and having to complete some plays. And the play call was excellent to Darius Taylor. I mean, it was a great call and executed, perfectly. So, it was fun to watch, and obviously a nice reward for all those Gopher fans who went out to the Rose Bowl. We know the history, and even though the stadium was not exactly filled, I think anyone that was out there enjoyed the experience of being there. I remember when I was a little kid, but it's when the Gophers were there in '62, and everyone talked about it over and over and over again. That was the last time the Gophers played in a Rose Bowl but this was in the Rose Bowl, not
right.
Yeah, we get it.
Right.
But still, nevertheless,
the stadium called the Rose Bowl, not the game.
Honestly, if you told me beginning of the year that if you're playing the two Pac-12 teams, whatever, and they were going to beat USC and UCLA in back-to-back weeks, I would have said, I kind of doubt that. So kudos to them. They got the week off, and now they come back with Maryland. That's certainly a winnable game. And they got Penn State, they got Illinois. That's always a thorn in their side, and they got, but they're not going to be. They're not in over their heads against anyone, I don't think, the rest of the way. So they have an opportunity to continue to capitalize on a couple nice wins here in the last couple of weeks.
It looks like you're getting a compliment here. It says, I really wish Rosen would tweet more frequently during Vikings games. Who needs Kurt Warner's analysis when you can get insights like Mark provides? Takes like, definitely momentum swing here. Let's see if B-Flow's defense can change that. Or, thank goodness for Reichard. The rest of the Vikings special teams have been a hot mess all game. Or this defense. That's 4 exclamation points.
Right, that was after.
It's like watching the game with Abner Doubleday himself.
I can't imagine who that was.
Okay, Larry Mandela guy.
Yeah.
In other words, I think he's tongue in cheek. He's saying that you're not offering up enough analysis.
Well, actually, I think sitting in the stadium at Tottenham, you really could sense that the momentum had switched. That's all. I was just pointing out. Right. If you feel it was the obvious, that's fine. But it was happening. It absolutely was happening. And when Aaron Jones went out of the game, you could tell the difference. The Vikings offense was just sagging, and they needed a spark. And they finally got it late. Darnold did complete the 2 big passes that mattered the most.
Yeah, so take that, Larry Mandela guy.
Well, I can't believe he pays attention to that stuff.
Yeah, he does. Well, you've got 200,000 followers, so people are paying attention. Yeah,
I'll keep that in mind this Sunday, and when they're marching up and down the field against the Kitties.
Just give us a that defense.
Yeah, that defense.
That is good analysis when you think about it.
Well, how about the picture I took? You didn't mention that. I mean, I was one of the few that was still in the stadium, and the Viking defense came back on the field after the game and posed, post uniform for the most part on the 50-yard line. And the 50 symbolizing 5-0.
Oh.
And they sat there. I had the photographers in the foreground, the defense, most of the members of the defense, center stage. Center cut, no caption necessary. Basically, Vikings leaving.
You weren't included in this.
I was not. I was in my press seat, and I took the picture from there.
Okay.
I was waiting around for a few minutes for the crowd to clear out. A very rowdy crowd.
I took a picture today or Saturday that I posted or Sunday, I posted on Twitter of my lovely wife Potato and I went down to Interstate Park in Taylor's Falls.
Well, look at you.
Took a picture of the cliffs.
Romantic.
And I said, well, what's really romantic? Just walking the cliffs.
I know, but still, that's not unlike you.
My wife and I do things together all the time.
Okay.
We really do.
Right.
But what I'm saying is I took a picture and sent it out and I said, and notice I didn't include myself in the picture because I feel everybody believes I was there.
Yeah, that's probably a good point.
That's what I did. And it was a lovely time. Have you been to Interstate Park in Taylor's Falls?
Oh, yeah, it's wonderful.
It's a romantic place to go.
Go off. Yeah.
It's very romantic.
Yeah, especially when the colors are changing, yes.
Anyway, well, the colors, it's funny. Generally speaking, they're usually much further along than we've had such a dry fall.
That's just it.
That even out there, I mean, there were some splotches, if that's a word of color, but it wasn't the vivid, everything has changed, so we still got some.
That's good, though. We can have that delayed a little bit.
Yeah, we really could. What else was I going to ask you about? You really haven't had the opportunity because you were in London to talk much about and how did they phrase it again? The Twins, they are exploring the idea or something like selling the club.
It's so.
What are your thoughts on if indeed they really are of the Pohlads after what about 40 years or so, maybe selling the franchise?
There are groups in the Twin Cities that are seriously looking at it. I can't give you names.
Why not?
Because there are reasons for that.
I know some names too that I'm
sure you do. Yeah. But I'm just saying that I think the hope is that locally someone will buy the team. It's not as if they got a lock solid deal with Target Field. It's not like someone's going to buy the team. Everyone's going to say, they're going to move the team to wherever, Vancouver or something, or I don't know, like Oakland. They're not going to have a team anymore. But
intent to explore.
How about that?
Explore.
Yeah, you can use that term for a lot of things in your life. Isn't that the truth? It did come as I have a very good friend who works in the front office, and they were all shocked. I can tell you that. It wasn't as if, we had heard rumors. We heard there was a buzz about it the last week or two or month or whatever it might be. Joe Pohlad had sat down with a couple of different media members right before that. No indication this was going to happen. But apparently Joe was pretty emotional when he delivered the news to the staff. So, there's always a concern. And, this doesn't, anytime there's a big change in any company, it doesn't have to be sports, but, there are a lot of people involved that beyond the obvious ones that are hopeful that they're going to still be employed. And I think that's the thing, the unknown for a lot of people right now in the Twins organization is we don't know what the unknown is going to be, and whomever buys this team, and what's that timetable going to be like, and am I still going to have a job? I would hope that, if nothing else, they're going to keep the key people in some of those positions that aren't, the Twins hired, a new hitting instructor? Did I just read that?
From the Orioles, yeah.
And he's been used to be with the Twins. That was the move they made so far. So, they still have a GM right now, but I don't know when they do set, who's going to answer to the baseball meetings start when the World Series ends. Free agency starts as soon as the World Series ends. Who goes to, Derek Falvey's still there. Levine's gone. But who does he go to say, hey, we got player A, player B, we think we can get him for a decent price? Who's signing off on that? You know what I mean?
I suppose the Pohlads
right now, the Pohlads they're still owners, so I guess until further notice, but they're not setting the payroll for next year. I mean, unless they, this isn't the, it's interesting. All of a sudden, the upheaval we have, the Timberwolves situation is going to go to arbitration. I guess late fall, maybe early winter. That thing is still ongoing. The Glenn Taylor, A-Rod, and Mark Lowry situation. So, but that, the roster's set. There's not really any decisions. The season starts Tuesday night, and no one's really thinking about, how the ownership situation is going to play out necessarily. Twins a little different situation, but I'm hopeful that local ownership will keep it here. We'll have a say in it. I just, it's not like it's the end of the world. We know the Wilfs are from New Jersey.
Peter Lorre is from, where's Lorre from?
Well, Lorre, yeah.
And A-Rod, they're not from here.
No, they're not from here.
Craig Leopold's not from here, is he?
Well, pretty close. It's Wisconsin. Yeah. Well, it's kind of their team. I mean,
yeah. But still not.
No, he doesn't have to be from.
It's not like you, born and bred here.
No, it doesn't.
I heard some rumors that you might be part of an ownership group.
Maybe. Yeah, right.
That's what I heard.
Oh my gosh.
We talk about a billion?
Well, you're part of it. You'd be limited.
Limited? Yeah, really limited.
You'd be limited, as Ben likes to say.
Right.
Or as
he might get to start, Russell Wilson, I heard, for the Steelers. Anyway, we're getting away from the subject. Who knows what the business holdings of the Pohlads and what kind of decision had to be made or felt they needed to be made. Obviously, this was a long time coming in terms of the drip, drip, drip of what was going on, and felt compelled that we just can't hang on to the baseball business anymore. So,
right.
Put the for sale sign up there.
Intent to explore. The intent to explore.
That's quite a term.
Well, I would think, regardless of who the next owner is, I wouldn't expect an announcement that they're cutting payroll. I think that would be,
that would not be.
I would think, and generally anybody who buys a pro sports team, I'm not naive. They're doing it for an investment. You see what's happened with the Pohlads from $44 million to $1.5 or $6 billion, but I think most of these guys, especially initially, they want to compete. Right. They want to try to win a championship. It's part of the excitement of it. So I would think that whoever that owner is, I would think, they'll be asked right away, a part of the problem with the Pohlads, and the fans became disenchanted, and what are your plans? And I'm sure they'll say, we plan on fielding a competitive team, and we'll pay whatever it takes to do that. Now, I don't necessarily means they're going to pay $300 million, but they would certainly say, well, yeah, we're not going to come back with a 125 payroll, I would think, because then I think the fans would turn on you right away. They'd go, well, what do you mean? We thought you were going to come in here and maybe make things different. So, and they might not have the biggest payroll in Major League Baseball, but I certainly think the new owners will come in and spend some money.
Man, I really don't know how this is going to, a transaction of this magnitude, and it's complicated. Everything, any big transaction like this is complicated. It takes a lot of time with, how many lawyers involved and the decisions you have to make. And like I said, when you have free agency starting, as soon as the World Series is over, and again, they have a GM in place, and right now the Pohlads still own the team. So my assumption is Derek Falvey has to go to Joe Pohlad, and he's got to run it up the flagpole and say, we want to sign so-and-so.
Yeah, well, my guess is it wouldn't probably, what would happen is, I would think they would still continue to run it like that. If you're going to sell the team, I don't think you make dramatic changes to whoever you're going to sell to.
No, they're not going to sign an Ohtani type of contract.
Right. So my guess is they would just say, no, well, you can make the kind of moves you want, but we got to keep that payroll around $130 million. Yeah. And so
do what you want.
If you want to sign a free agent, that's fine, but you can't sign a guy like Ohtani. You just can't. You have to sign. That's probably what they'll do. So
that makes sense.
My guess is when the season starts, it'll be 130. And I don't know how fast it can work. I mean, even if somebody today, today said, we want to buy the team, they prove they have the money, they're serious about it, because it's got to go through approval of the other. I think 23 of the other 31 have to agree, and then it's so there's it's not like it's not like just going to the car dealership and buying a car. No. But I think it's possible that it could all be, if it happened quickly. If they could find a buyer before the end of the year, could they have a new buyer in place by the start of next season?
And I mean, that'd be a big name. I remember when the late Bob Casey came up to me and told me, he said, you ever heard of Carl Pohlad? I went, no. He goes, well, Keep an eye on that name. It looks like he's going to buy the Twins. Who is he?
I know who's going to buy him. I know.
Well, I think you probably. I bet we're reading each other's minds. We'll talk to you during the break.
No.
Oh, we're almost done. Never mind. The break's over.
I know who's going to buy him.
Yeah. All right. Look at that. We're out of time.
Isn't that funny? You'll be back tomorrow, right?
I will.
Yeah. See you at about 2 o'clock.
I will be here.
I will be here as well. Maybe we'll be talking about the new owners of the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Could be, though. We can fast track these things.
All right.
Rosen back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We're back tomorrow at 12 noon. Timmy, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We enjoyed our visit with you today. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. But do this. Don't touch that dial. Big Ticket, JG, they are next right here on The Fan.
And now till we meet again.
Well done, young man.
Adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. Good night.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Minnesota!
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
What do you think of Lions now?
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.